Hello and welcome back to the Corporate Burnouts. How you doing, Mandy?
I'm so good. How are you?
Doing all right. I'm
How's
here.
how's the life of a new puppy mom?
It's a lot. It's a lot. So to back up and give some context, this past week, Peyton, my youngest daughter, called me or texted me from church and was like, "Hey, they're having a raffle. If I win this puppy, are you going to let me keep it?" And I was like, "There's hundreds of kids at this like back to school party at church. There's no way, but whatever." I was like, "Well, I don't know. That depends. Like, what kind of a puppy is it? Whatever. Like, show me pictures." I get nothing. A few minutes later, she's FaceTiming me. From the stage, youth pastor has phone in hand, shows it to the entire crowd. There's hundreds of kids, and it's like, "What do you say, Mom?" And I'm like,
Put you on the spot.
what do
Like,
you do? Like, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. I don't know how old this dog is. I don't know what kind of dog this is. And I'm like, okay, all right. So then I like get off the phone with Peyton and I'm like talking to Paisley. Mind you, we're sitting in a Sam's Club eating $1 hot dog because that's what we wanted.
that's dinner.
And yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, I guess we have a dog. I know nothing about it. Like, I like kind of just a little bit caught the glimpse of the dog as they panned across with the phone. So I had a good idea of like what she was. Oh, here she is. Hold on, let me get her.
Yeah, grab her.
Everybody say hi to Molly.
Oh, hi, Molly.
Molly girl.
You'll have to get on YouTube to see Molly, but she
I
is
know.
so cute and so
She's
furry. Oh, she
she's
said I have to go.
precious, but
Yeah.
she's bad. She bites me and she chews things. And she's just and she's gonna be huge. It's crazy. But anyways, we wound up with an Australian Shepherd little girl, 8 weeks old, and then a trip to the ER because Peyton hurt her leg jumping up and down, excited about this dang dog. So we have an MRI tomorrow. We'll see if we have torn any ligaments or what is going on there. But it's been exciting times around these parts over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Pulling my hair out, but you know,
Oh, it's so fun though. I love having a puppy. I mean, it sucks too. It's like having a
yeah.
newborn. You have to be up all the time and, and pay attention to everything that they're doing. But how is Peyton feeling any better or
Yeah, so she
okay.
is able to walk on it, not without pain, but she's like slowly but surely getting better. We just really want to make sure that she hasn't done any damage that she's
Yeah.
not going to make worse. So
Hmm.
we're going to
Yeah.
follow through on that and make sure that we get it all checked out. But yeah, the puppy has been a welcome distraction from the pain for
Yeah.
sure for
Yeah.
her. But she has made no bones about it. Like, "Mom, I know I won this puppy, but this is a family dog, right? Are you going to take care of her?" And I'm like, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
So I now have
A
all the
puppy.
dogs.
Hmm. Yeah.
All
Mm.
of that.
No, I love that too. I don't want another dog right now
Hmm.
because two is enough. But I do miss having puppies. They're so cute.
Yeah, she's precious and I love it, but it is a lot. And I remember when I got Ralph thinking if I didn't work from home, this would not be possible. And now I have Ralph and Molly, and
Hmm.
right now I have Pate too.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
we have all the dogs running around here, and I'm like, this wouldn't be possible if I didn't work from home. But it's
No.
crazy because there's two sides of that coin. Like, I'm lucky that I can take care of these dogs from home while I'm working, but also, can you guys chill out and just let me work?
Yeah. No, the answer is no. They're like, we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and you're gonna have to decide when you need to jump in and
Yeah, you can figure it out, Mom.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Well, I'm
all
glad
right.
that you brought up work from home because I really want to dig into that today. um, we have done both. Working in an office, working at home, working on the road is what we mostly did.
Mm-hmm.
And now we strictly work from home. And Mittens has found a bug. It's
It's like
distracting
zoo
me.
time
It
in
is.
this
It's a
place.
zoo. Dan took the dogs out, but I still got the cat, and He will make his appearance on my lap here in a little while, probably aggressively. So, but working from home can be distracting, right? It can be a zoo. It can be, oh, shoot, I need to do laundry now. It can be all of these things, but it does allow us to have a certain lifestyle that we wouldn't have if we were commuting, if we were leaving town for sure. Um, and we just want to get into it and talk about all the pros and cons of working from home and how to not let it completely burn you out.
Yeah, because it is a double-edged sword. It's so funny because a lot of people, when I talk about working from home, they're like, "Oh my God, I need a job where I work from home. I'm so jealous. That's great." And I'm like, I think that people over glamorize what that is in the same way that I felt like people were always telling me how jealous they were that I went to all these cool places and all the
Hmm.
things when I was traveling for work. I'm getting the same thing about working from home. And it is over glamorized. It's not all yeah, you still have to work, right? Like, and you actually have to have more discipline to get things done working from home than you do if you go to an office.
Hmm.
When you go work in an office and you get up in the morning, you have to get ready because you're leaving the house and you got to be out the door by a certain time and you have a structure to your day. There's a routine and a rhythm that you get in that make things simpler, easier.
Hmm.
It's annoying and it's frustrating and sometimes it can be difficult to stick to, but it keeps your day on track. And then you get to the office and it's like, what else really is there to do besides get your work done?
Hmm.
But when you work from home, especially if you work for yourself from home, um, like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I don't really want to wear pants.
Yeah.
And I've been guilty of that for as long as I have worked at home. In fact, I felt like I've maybe been a little rebellious about it in that way. Like I earned it.
Hmm.
I don't have to. This is part of the perks of working from home, and I'm not going to wear pants. I have really, really, really been working on that over, not specifically with pants, but like getting up and getting ready for the day. And
Hmm.
you don't have to have a full face of makeup or, your hair completely done, but like brush your teeth, put
Yeah,
on clothes, be
still
a
do a
real human.
routine. That's something
Yeah.
that I am very strict with myself about, because I and we have talked about this many times, right? When you're
Hmm.
like, ugh, I feel so, and I'm like, you wouldn't feel that way if you still did your routine, if you still got up at the same time every day, which you do that now, but and you take a shower and you do your hair and you do your makeup. And obviously, I don't always do my makeup. If I'm not going to need to be on video or something like that, I won't do
Yeah.
it. But I would even put on like shoes. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting fully ready because it makes me feel a certain way to have gotten that accomplished, and it's like it it starts the workday as opposed to now I'm going to laze around for a while and now my workday hasn't started until 11 a.m. or something. And I think that that was really helpful. I also, and I need to get better at this, and I've said this in the last couple of weeks on the podcast, I I used to get up, put on yoga pants, do the whole, like getting ready. Even if I wasn't going to immediately go work out, I knew that at some point I was going to be completely ready. I had the tennis shoes on. I was going to be completely ready to go walking or go to the gym or something. Because if I didn't put that on, it was like, well, now I have
Now
to
I
go
have to,
put
yeah.
that on and I have to look good enough to leave the house. And and so I think that is very important for anyone who's like, I love work at home, but I blur the lines sometimes of being too comfortable, too lazy, too whatever. Or I don't know when my workday starts and ends. That's something to really think about is what do you do at the beginning of your day to clock in per se, and then what do you do
Hmm.
at the end to make sure that you have shut it off, because otherwise you can get yourself in, I don't, an endless loop of like, what is this?
Yeah. And it goes one way or the other, right? Like, and I've been guilty of both, looking up going, okay, it's 8 o'clock and I'm still sitting at my computer and like the family's having dinner and doing their thing. And I'm still sitting here working on what I was working on because I didn't get to that, completion point that I wanted to. But I've also been guilty of like, I've picked up the kids from school and I've come back home. And yeah, there's a lot of work left to do. But now I'm distracted by
Yeah,
my
the
home life.
motivation is gone
And
too.
I
Mhm.
yeah, I just lost the rest of the afternoon. It's gone. So it's crazy to me the amount of discipline that you have to have and the structure that you have to provide for yourself. Um, like I said, I have not been great at it, but we've been doing this for what? 2 almost and a half years? Yeah, and it's taken me a little while to get to the place where I'm like, "No, seriously, like, you're only hurting yourself. Get up and put on pants," you
Yeah,
know? Um,
yeah.
One of the things that really helped me, that we started this kind of early on, is that for accountability's sake, not because it's super necessary, but for accountability's sake, you and I have a 9 a.m. start call
Mhm.
every day,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's 8:30 and sometimes it's 10 o'clock, depending on, what's going on, but, like, to me, I know that's my trigger. Like, I need to be ready to go when that phone rings and it's Mandy because that is my clock in moment. That is
Mhm.
what shifts
Yep.
in my brain to go, "Okay, and now we're working and there's no more, like there's no more bullshit gonna
Mhm.
happen. You should have already had all that stuff done. Now we're working." And then obviously with puppies, it's like every hour we're going outside or whatever. And if I need to change over laundry, then I will. If I need, whatever. Um, so there are some benefits to that. But at the same time, the structure and the like, it's almost like I need to set timers like, nope, it's time to go back inside, time to get back to
Mhm.
work.
Well, and I think that that is huge for anybody who, so I work for myself, but it does benefit me also that I talk to you at 9, right?
Hmm.
Because that generally, it doesn't always completely start my day. Sometimes I'm working a little bit before that, but at the very least, that's when I'm like shifting my mind to full work mode.
Yeah.
And we generally have a call at the end of the day too, at some point, to kind of end it, recap. It's good to, when you're working at home, there's not somebody looking over your shoulder at what you're doing. It's good to have that accountability as well. Like, I know that we're going to talk at the end of the day, so I'm going to need to have gotten something accomplished, right?
Yeah.
So I recommend to anybody, if you work for yourself or if you work for a corporation, ask for accountability because it does help you get more accomplished. The flexibility in that, though, needs to be there as well. So I don't want you to ever work until 8 p.m., but if you took 3 hours in the afternoon to go get an MRI and or whatever else happens, then sometimes it's necessary, right? Because we also don't want work from home to make it so that we work 4-hour days,
Right.
because then you're not, I mean, in your position, you're not going to get paid as much, you know?
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, an hourly situation, even less, but you're on contract. But
Hmm.
some people are on salary, and that makes it so that you're not going to get promotions. That you're
Yeah.
you're not giving the output that is needed too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I were doing this job, let's say on a salary, it would be way easier to be like, I'm gonna take a half day. You know what I mean? When your money's not tied to it. However, I think that is like a lie that we're telling ourselves that it's no big deal because to your point, you're not going to get promotions. You're like people will recognize the productivity. Um, and I do think that there are some people who are better suited for working from home than others. If I'm honest, I'm probably not one of those people because I am really extroverted. I prefer to collaborate. I like working with people, and working from home can be really, really isolating for people like me.
Mhm.
Um, I am very lucky that at the very least I'm doing this virtually, I guess, with one of my best friends. So there is at least some welcome communication every single day.
Yeah,
And
there's
but
connection, and
right,
with the
but
clients too,
I
right?
was gonna say, and then I also am really lucky to really enjoy some of the clients that we have that I get to collaborate with and work with. But because of that, it has been really important that I find a way and a reason to get out of the house, whether it's, go grab some coffee or grocery store runs or Target runs or go have a drink with a friend, like whatever that looks like. It's really easy to look up and go, I haven't left the house or worn real clothes or seen another human outside of my family for days. Like, and I find that to be really unhealthy for me and in
Yeah,
my
it's
personality.
isolating. Well,
Um,
and it's going to be a little bit harder for you even more now that Paisley has her driver's license because you're not going to be needed to take everywhere that they need to go.
yeah, that
And
kind of kicked
mhm.
off this weekend. Paisley got her license on Thursday and she was coming and going on Friday. They went to a football scrimmage and then they went to get ice cream and then blah, 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 whatever. And then Saturday she had rehearsals and she took herself and then she went to work and she took herself. And like I went to bed and I was like thinking like, where are all my okay, Paisley's still at work or whatever. And she came in and told me that she had gotten home. Um, and then Sunday I like look up and Peyton and Paisley are getting ready and I was like, what's happening? And they're like, we're going to lunch. And I'm like, mom doesn't get the invite? Like, what? Okay,
They're
all
like,
right.
we don't need you to take us.
Yeah, they're like, "We don't need you. You're good." So they went to lunch together, they went to Target, they went, looking for homecoming dresses, and I was like, "I don't wanna do any of that right now," so I'm really happy, but at the same time, you're right, like, I was like, "I'm literally going to, like, become one with the couch here." What
Yeah, so you have to make other,
Yeah,
other plans, right? And I think that it's I love working at home and it's not isolating to me and like we're
but
very different in that.
what was your INJ, whatever, like, your personality
Shoot.
type is a
We didn't
little
end up
bit
taking that.
different.
We need to
I know we need to.
so we can share what our actual results were because we guessed. But yeah, I'm an introvert. I like being at home. I'm not upset if I don't see anyone outside my family um for days at a time. That doesn't bother me in the least bit. What is the problem for me is that I am not moving as much, right? So
Mm,
sometimes I'm like, I walked from, the bed to the shower and from the shower to the living room where I work and from the living room to the kitchen. And you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I can't get that many steps. I need to look at all of my rings for the last month to see, because some days, I go for a walk or we go and do something. And but the days that I don't, I probably walk less than 1,000 steps for sure, and that's not good for your body. They say that sitting is the new smoking. It's like you have to seriously move your body. And
yeah.
yes, we have a job where we work on our phones, where we work on a computer, so we're sitting down all the time. But Samantha asked me the other day, she's like, would you ever do the walking desk? And I'm like, I think I'm going to need to. I think I'm going to need to set that up. We don't have a good space here for that. But in the next house, it's like, yeah, I probably will need to do that because I mean, my lower back hurts so bad at all times. I go to the chiropractor once a week. I get massages and it's never enough because I freaking sit all the time.
Think I could do the walking desk. I don't think my brain can.
Can you see this cat?
Yes.
He's just sticking his butt up.
I don't think
He's
that
so
my brain
scratchy.
can be, like, creative or function and all of that and, like, walk at the same time. I would be the one that, like, tripped and freaking fell
Mhm.
because I was trying to, like, think about and type an email while I was walking, and I can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
That's funny. I wonder if you could have ones that are, like, just based on your own momentum, so you could stop while you're doing something like that,
Yeah.
but while you're thinking, while you're scrolling, while you're whatever, then you could walk during that time. I'm not sure. I haven't done any research on them. I used to see them at the airports where, they would have the thing where you could set your computer up. I I think that I could enjoy it. My brain does work okay that way. So I think that I could, but I think that I would also need to be still during some of the things that I was doing, right?
Yeah.
I'd have to
I
try
don't
it out. I
know.
need to find somebody. If you're in St. Louis and you have one and you want to let me try it out, I would love to come and check it out. But I don't know. That's something that I'm struggling with, and it becomes an even bigger struggle in the winter time
Yeah.
because you can't just go out and take a couple laps around the house or something, it's not
Yeah.
as doable. I
That
don't
is a
know.
flexibility that I have not taken advantage of. Like, I could get out in the middle of the day, walk the dogs, or even
Mhm.
just get away from the dogs and go for a walk myself.
Mhm.
Get a little sunshine, get a little fresh air, get away from it. There are times where I have to walk away because I'm like, my eyes are crossing sitting at this computer. So I need the break. But typically, when I do that, that's when I take the dogs in the backyard and we'll just
Mhm.
sit and
Yeah.
get some sunshine for a few minutes.
Yeah.
But you're right, movement makes a big difference. I think it makes a big difference in your mental health too.
It
Like,
does. It really resets my brain, 'cause sometimes I'll be like, everything's going wrong, like technology is screwing me over today, whatever the situation might be, and going walking and coming back does help. Or even just
yeah,
separating yourself from the situation for a little while helps. So, um, I think everyone has to find their thing that gets them back into it, because at a workplace, you can go into the break room, you can go leave and go get coffee maybe. I'm not exactly sure how it works at most offices, but I think that the biggest thing that I miss out on is being part of something bigger, right? Because if you're at home, yes, you're on Zoom, you're seeing the people at the office, but we we worked from home or on the road in our job, but we worked for a department that, 40 people were working in the office every single day. And I felt very isolated from them. Like, we weren't a part of them a lot of the times. And they tried to make us feel included, but it's impossible. Those people bond with each other all day long, and they collaborate
yeah,
with each other, and they sit at each other's desks and chat, and they go to lunch and all of those things. Like, we were never going to be as close as they were with each other, because they just
yeah.
spent day in and day out together.
Because there's only so much you can do when somebody is physically not present. But I never wanted to move to Kentucky to do that anyway. So
Right. But some people just work at home and their office is
yeah,
20 minutes away somewhere. And I, again, love the flexibility of this, but it would be nice if I was working for a corporation again to do the kind of hybrid thing where you were there some of the time and at home some of the time, and made that work around your life. Because another thing about work from home is that you can always pick up and drop off the kids from school. You can always, you know, have
that's a
puppies
huge
at
piece of it
home,
for me.
you
That's
know.
one of the reasons that I wanted this so badly was to
Mhm.
be more present for my kids for
Yep.
sure.
Mhm. Yeah, so I think that the hybrid thing could work out really well if you are somebody who wants to be a part of the office culture. I just don't know how it would work if you're there like one day a week, let's say, because we would go to the office like once every other month, once every 3 months, and I never got anything accomplished there. It was
Yeah,
weird. I was
because
out
it
of
was all
my
social.
yeah, it was. We were catching up with people, and it was social, and we were having meetings with people that we didn't get to see in person. But also, it was a weird working situation, you know? So it was just, it threw me off of my routine of how I got work done, and so I never really got anything accomplished there.
Yeah. So I think you mentioned the hybrid workplace thing, and I don't know. I don't know if I want to say I don't know that if I could do that, but to your point, we lived life on the road slash work from home for years. But like working from home one day a week is not the same as every single day.
No.
Um, One of the things that I really appreciate about not just about working from home, but about the way in which I do that is I do have a dedicated office space. This, like, it is an office. This is where I come and work. I don't hang out in here if I'm not working, 'cause, like, it's not fun to sit at a computer desk for no reason.
No.
Um, so it's like I can kind of flip that switch a little bit. Um, but I think with the hybrid part of things, it would be hard for the rhythm and routine, that we just talked about that you have to set. I don't know how I would operate in that one.
Yeah. Again, none of these things are for everyone. I just feel bad for anyone who, during COVID, let's say, is when most people went work from home
Yeah.
and they get so used to it. And some people are like, I can't wait to get back to the office. But a lot of people are like, this is fantastic. This is what I was made for. And then they're like, all right, now back to the office full time.
Yeah.
That's something that I would not be able to do. And obviously, I'm in a position now that no one can make me go anywhere. But if we were working from home the way that we do, and then someone said, now full time back to the office, I would quit. I mean,
I'd be
I
like,
probably would quit because, and truly, I mean, that's kind of what happened to me in the job that we were in. They
pretty
said,
close on the timeline.
I
Yeah.
mean, they said, all right, you have to work at home for a while. And then they got us back on the road, and back on the road, it was like, I, some of these places I need to be. Most of these places I don't. I've found that I can get so much, even more accomplished by being on teams instead of flying myself there to spend all this money to be there in person and then just get interrupted the whole time. We got so much more accomplished on teams, and then I'm like, well, this is just for optics now, having me in person, and that feels stupid. In the middle part of 2020, I felt like it was risking a lot because we
Yeah.
still didn't know
Yeah,
how,
because we
I'd
didn't know
still
how
never had
dangerous
it.
everything actually is,
Yeah.
People
Well,
were dying, and then some people were making fun of it, and it's like, I'm not the expert, I don't know, but
no.
you're asking me to get on a plane and go be around all hundreds of people and different people every single day, like, this feels really
And then,
risky.
yeah, and then stay in hotels that it's like, are they cleaning them well enough? When they first put us back out onto the road, I was like, I don't know if this is safe. And I felt uncomfortable with it. But what I really found out was that I could do so much of my job at home and better. And I had gotten used to being at home and not missing out on life because really I was gone more than I was home. So I was missing out on so much of life, and what I now think of as that I had put my life on hold quite a bit during that time. And so I'm like, I have to figure out how to not let this be a big problem. And
Yeah,
then they went, okay, well, we actually need to give you 3 more markets. And now I am all over the
extend your
Southwest. Yeah.
travel.
It was like, I'm going to go because you overcorrected a little bit. Um, and now I'm gone all the time. And I just want to be home because I got a taste of what it felt like to be home all the time. And I loved that. So I think that there are probably plenty of people who were asked to come back to the office and they were like, I think I'm not going to
No.
do that. And I'm sure that some people pushed back, but others were just like, I guess I'll go find something that's fully remote.
Yeah, and you can't blame them because, like, it's a completely different lifestyle. I don't know how I would do in an office setting. Saying that, I haven't worked in an office setting in
Yeah,
a couple
20
of
some years.
decades now. Yeah, it's been a minute, and so I was like a baby child when I did. Um, I really like the autonomy of starting and stopping my day when I want to, and, having the flexibility of being present with my kids, being able to chase puppies, like, there's so many benefits that come out of that. Um, but it doesn't, like I said, it's not as glamorous as it sounds because it requires discipline to be able to get everything done that's going to pay you and have all of this stuff. You have to fit it together like a puzzle, a little bit differently than what, the structure of a normal 9 to 5 looks like.
Yeah, it's for
And
sure
not
a
letting
balance.
Yeah, not letting work creep into your personal time and not letting your personal stuff creep into your work productivity is a crazy balance that, sometimes the pendulum swings a little too far in one direction and you just have to always be paying attention to the pendulum. And when you see it swing too far one way, then you correct it back the other. And um, it's not to say that it has to be perfectly balanced at all times, but it's a give and take on both sides. It's been a wild ride over the last 2.5 years, and I wouldn't I wouldn't change it, but I will say that a lot of the lessons that I've had to learn some of these same lessons like over and over because I'm a little bit stubborn, right? Like the getting up and getting ready and starting your day at the same time and like having a structure and a routine. Um,
Yeah, but only because you want to learn it yourself instead of hearing it from someone else, like you
it's
trial and
pure
error things.
stubbornness. It's pure stubbornness. It's like,
Yeah.
I hear you, and you're probably right, but I'm gonna try it my way another 6 times before I try it your way and then go, "Oh, this is actually really good for me." I hate that about myself, but
Yep, it
here we
is what
are.
it
I'm wearing
is.
pants today. You're welcome.
Yay. Well, you have to wear pants whenever we do a podcast because you do this and you put your knees up, so you do have to you kind of show off that part.
Fine. Yes, of course, I definitely get ready a little bit differently on a podcast day because I know that I'm gonna be here and on camera, but at the same time, like, because we're doing this more regularly,
Mhm.
I'm trying to
It's
get
become the routine.
yeah,
Hmm.
to stay in that same routine of, you know, you don't have to like I said, you don't have to have curled hair and a full face of makeup, but,
Hmm.
like, if you need to leave the house, you're ready on a moment's notice. I did that for a really long time where I wasn't getting ready. I was literally, like, crawling out of bed and, like, stumbling my way to my office, and then I would look up and be like, "Okay, so it's 5 o'clock, and, like,
Oh, it's
family
gonna be
wants to
at
go
least
eat
another
dinner."
hour. Yeah.
And now I need
Hmm.
to go take a shower and get ready, and it's like I'm getting ready for the day at the end of the day because 'cause I'm not getting
Yeah.
ready until we're gonna leave the house, and that wasn't good for me and my mental health during the day, but it also wasn't good for, like, my family in the routine of, like, "Well, we can't go because mom's gonna take too long to get ready," or, "We're gonna have to sit and wait for another hour because mom's still not ready," or I go and I look like crap, and
Yeah.
nobody feels good about that, so, um yeah, you wouldn't think that that lesson would have to be so hard to learn.
Yeah.
Because it's not. It's just a matter of stubbornness.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about some stats that I found because, in my opinion, work from home makes a whole lot of sense,
Mhm.
right? For me, but it's not right for everybody because we talk about burnout and our goal is always to stay happy and productive and not burn out, correct? So, um, I looked up which, like, if people are more burned out, report being more burned out as work from home or in office or hybrid. And here's what I found. So they said remote workers report higher burnout than in office peers. 54% of remote workers say they feel burned out versus 41% of on site workers. And I actually thought that it would be the opposite,
Me too.
but there's,
Because
I
I have
mean,
not faced burnout
mm-mm.
working from home.
Well, but also you're working from home, not in a corporate structure, which we found is a little
Yeah.
bit
That's
harder to avoid
probably a lot
burnout
of it.
in.
Yeah.
Yes. But so 54% for remote versus 41% on site. One report even finds that 86% of full time remote workers are burned out, compared to 70% of on site and 81% of hybrid. So hybrid is just barely second to remote workers for burnout. But people at the office are a little less burned out. I I don't know what the correlation of that is, except for that um maybe they're on site and able to talk about their stuff, or they're not putting extra pressures of
I think
the
it
work
has
from home on
everything to
themselves.
yeah, it has everything to do with being able to walk away from it, you know? I think that that's one of the reasons that, like, for us being on the road, um, was so crazy prevalent for burnout was because it was an always on mentality. When we were on the road, we were always answering the phone. We were always checking our email. They were like, what else is there to do? And when you work from home, if you don't provide yourself that discipline, if you don't provide yourself the personal time,
Boundaries.
the boundaries that we're always talking about, if you don't do that for yourself, then it can and will take over. But if I work in an office and I don't take my computer home with me, and I think that's incredible. Like on some places, I'm like, wait a minute, like, do you have a laptop? And they're like, no, it's a desktop computer at work. And I'm like, oh, like that kind of sucks. And then I'm like, no, that's actually kind of genius because you get to set it and forget it. When you leave for home, you get to go home and be home. And
Yeah.
the problems that you left at work are now a 9 a.m. tomorrow problem.
Neither of us have ever, I don't think, worked a job that you didn't take it home at all, that it was
Never.
very, and yeah, that is, I guarantee that is most of the reason for the burnout is just the completely blurred lines of, because when we were on the road, you're right, we were at work 24 hours a day. We were on the road, therefore we weren't having our like regular at home routines. It's like we're just here to work and then we'll go home and not work. And then, that didn't happen either. But I think that it says blurred boundaries, 40% have trouble disconnecting after work if you're a remote worker. Okay. And I can completely, I do try and put my computer away, but when you or Mallory specifically ask about something, I'm going to jump right back in. And sometimes a client will ask about something and I'm right back in. I'm not digging into at 7 o'clock at night anymore a full project, but I've always been a person who I'm like, it'll make me feel better tomorrow if I've gotten this accomplished now.
Mm-hmm.
So last night I made business cards and like I designed stuff because I'm like, I want to get that off my list. It'll make me feel better. And it did make me feel better about the list that I have today. But I shouldn't have been doing that on Sunday night. That's dumb.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that it's not a lie, right? It's not a lie. It did make you feel better about it. But did it make you feel better about the quality of time that you had with your family on Sunday?
Yeah. So I didn't do it in place of eating dinner with everybody. So we had dinner and it was for Dan's business. So I really mostly wanted him to be there to bounce ideas off of, but it was kind of a family thing. And we watched Hunting Wives while I worked.
What a great show.
I know. It is kind of all right. And now I found out that both the kids have watched Hunting Wives, and I'm like, that is okay. Okay.
Yeah, mine asked me about it, and I was like, not for you. No,
not yet.
You wouldn't even like it. It's spicy. You wouldn't like it.
That's so good. Okay, so more stats. 81% of remote workers check emails outside of regular hours, with many working weekends or vacation time. And this stat made me go, oof. I haven't had a true vacation in 20 years where I didn't work at all.
No, you haven't.
No, none. And I am okay with it now because I run my business and it's worthwhile to still do a little bit, but I still get to go and play and do everything. And I go on a hell of a lot more trips. So it doesn't feel so like my one vacation of the year is getting hijacked by work.
Yeah, you're doing it on your own terms, and that
is.
changes everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's not just me, like Dan runs a business. So he is always he's not going to have very much work, but he's going to still need to answer phone calls and send emails here and there. So it doesn't feel so like I'm the one who's ruining the vacation.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel bad about it with the kids. I'm like, whenever they go, I'm like, we can't really do anything until like 11 because I need to get all the work done for the day. And so I don't love that, but they like to sleep in and play on their
Yeah.
phone. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the end of the world, but it's like, I wish that I could be that person who could completely disconnect. I'm just not, because of how my businesses have been structured. The other stat that I have here is remote workers are significantly more likely to feel always on, and you mentioned that earlier, emotionally isolated and disconnected from organizational culture.
100%.
And all of these are reasons why more remote workers are burned out, and it's
Mhm.
mostly because they don't disconnect. So do you have those boundaries in place to disconnect? Do you have, I work from this time to this time? Do you, like, are you going through the steps to make sure that you're making the best of this? Because there are a lot of pros to this, but the cons can be mitigated. That there are things that you can do. I I think that you know, you hate when we talk about boundaries, but they have to be in place for everything that we do, or else we run into situations like this. Like, the common denominator of avoiding burnout is setting boundaries. And this is another place to do that with
Yeah.
the remote work. So we've talked about a whole bunch of things during this episode just on how to make this better for yourself, make sure that remote work doesn't end up leading to burnout for you. But one of the things that we haven't talked about is protecting your calendar. So, really kind of time blocking. You and I have talked about time blocking a lot. Both of us have a really hard time with it, but it doesn't have to be a full time block of this is what I'm doing from this time to this time and this time to this time, but making sure that you don't cut out lunch or
Mhm.
breaks. I mean, because we've all been on Zoom after Zoom after Zoom where you don't even take a break to go to the bathroom or get more water.
And we've
So,
learned the hard way not to schedule those Zooms back to back to back.
yes, absolutely. I, this past week, overscheduled myself with meetings, and it felt very overwhelming. This wasn't a work from home problem as much as I'm driving all over the damn place, having meetings with people. And so I kind of do hybrid work, I guess, a little bit more than you
A little
do,
bit, yeah.
because I kind of run all over the place. But protect your calendar in that way. Don't schedule yourself back to back. Don't schedule things over lunch. I've gotten so much better at that, because I used to be like, it's 2 p.m. and I still haven't had lunch. And I did that to myself. It's like, if we're going to have a podcast episode recording and then I need to get on with the client, there's an hour in between, because I'm going to eat lunch so that I'm sharp enough and not just
Yeah.
like dying of hunger. But don't cut those things out. Again, schedule yourself time to go walking or whatever you want to do to move your body. Schedule yourself all of the things so that you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off because you didn't put picking up the kids from school on your schedule, and now you have zero downtime because that's what's going to take up this amount of time. I think that having complete control of your calendar is really helpful for that.
It really is. You have to I mean, it's your time, right? It's the most valuable commodity that you have. So if you don't protect it, where's it going? I think another really important tip that I would give is about investing in comfort. You are going to spend a ton of time in your workspace, however you set that up, and you've got to be able to set it up in a way that is really comfortable for you. Like, have a really good chair. Make sure, if you need a second monitor to make things a little bit easier on your eyes, a little bit more enjoyable to do the work, those sort of things can make a huge difference. And I can tell you that having a dedicated workspace in a chair that I'm comfortable in, having multiple monitors, makes it to where I don't grab the laptop and sit on the couch in front of Netflix and then have like half productivity,
Hmm.
it makes a huge difference in being able to be productive because my mind's not on being uncomfortable. My mind's not on, I wish this screen was bigger, that kind of thing, where you can actually just enjoy getting the job done, and being comfortable in your workspace makes a huge difference. It
Yeah.
just kind of transforms the energy.
And trying out different ways to do that, because obviously I have my desk here and I love
Mhm.
my chair. It's extra wide and it makes me really happy. I can sit cross-legged and
Mhm.
um but you know that I can't do creative work without sitting on the couch or something
Yeah.
like it, right? So like when we had an office, I had a couch in there because I knew if I was going to do social media or if I was going to be creating a website or something, I needed to have my feet up and I needed to be, lean back
You
enough.
need
And
to be.
that's so weird, right? But it's like maybe try out a couple of different things. You don't want to be the person who works in bed, like, but
No.
are you
It's really
productive?
nice when you need to, though, to be able to.
Yes. And the thing is, I think that for me, those things are comfortable because I worked in a bed in hotel rooms so much, like all the time. So that's where I can get creative and whatever. I don't know why, but try out some different things. I am going to tell you that I just got Dan talked into getting a new couch because this couch is not very comfortable. It's a little bit scratchy. Like it's run its course. And we need a new couch, and I got him talked into that because all he likes to buy is like stuff for the camper and things
Yeah,
like that.
toys.
Yes. And so I'm like, can we? He's like, oh, I don't really want to do that right now. And I'm like, I never ask for anything. I always
No,
just
I
go
really
with
don't want
whatever
that.
you want to buy for the camper. But anyway, I think that you're completely right about the comfort, and try
Mhm.
out what works for you to be comfortable working, because I'm way more productive if I'm in the perfect space for what I'm doing. Sometimes it's the two screens and the comfy desk chair. Sometimes it's the couch with my feet up and the laptop, and we all have our different ways, but comfort is key. I love that. I think that the last one that I would say is to get up in between, give yourself a reward for finishing something, whether it's a Zoom meeting, whether it's a
Mhm.
project that you're working on, or even a really tough email. Get up, walk around, get a new drink, whatever it is, go outside for 5 minutes, but have something to mark the transitions
Yeah,
between
a
what you're doing.
completion.
Yes.
Yeah. That
And
makes a big difference.
that's always helped me so much, because sometimes I'm like, "Ugh, I just need to take a break." And it's like, no, no, no. I only take breaks in between things that I'm accomplishing. And once I got myself set on that, then I'm accomplishing a lot more. Because if you take a break in between, like in the middle of something, sometimes your
You
brain
lose
can't get back
momentum.
into it. Yeah.
Yep.
And so obviously, I'm not saying that if you have an all day project, you can't get up in between, or even that my advice is key over what you think. But when you're doing things that are this item on the checklist gone, this item on the checklist gone, if I am trying to get up in between, in the middle, not between projects, but while I'm in the middle of something, I'm not going to get it done. But I will, if I set that kind of boundary with myself of only breaking between and always breaking between, so that there's a little bit of a reward for accomplishing something.
Yeah, I mean, goodness, if you find yourself with the option to work from home, or maybe you already do and you're struggling through it, these are so simple and feel like no-brainer things that you can do. But if you're like me and you're stubborn and you want things to be your way, I, I would just say freaking try it. Like when I do all of these things, I have such, it's not even just like a better productivity at work. It's like I'm enjoying myself. I feel better about myself. At the end of the day, I feel more accomplished and I'm energized to like give the rest of my time to my family and enjoy that time. And on days where I am stubborn and don't get up and do the things, or I don't take breaks, or, I don't give myself lunch, like by the end of the day, I just want to crawl in bed and like start over because it's a
Mhm.
crappy way to live.
Mhm.
Um, and it's definitely crappy to do that out of stubbornness. So just having that personal boundaries and discipline to be able to follow through on just a few things makes a world of impact. And I'll tell you, just specifically over the last couple of months, I have tried really, really hard and I've been pretty consistent, not perfect, but pretty consistent on, you know, several of the things we talked about, having a dedicated start and stop time, making sure that I get up and get ready, and having a checklist at the beginning of the day of what it is that I want to get accomplished so that at the end of the day I can look back and go, I can disconnect and walk away
Mhm.
because I got everything on my list done today. Or if there's something that I missed, there's a reason why. There's like this is on hold because to where my brain can completely check out and then move on to whatever comes next in life that is personal now, not professional. So
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
all trial and error, though. You got to figure out what
Mhm.
works for you.
Yep, and keep checking in with yourself to make sure that you are making progress because any kind of burnout is going to make you unhappy in not just your work life, but all of your life. So just make small changes and check in and see how it's
I think
going.
that's smart too. And progress over perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give up because you missed a couple of days or because something didn't go perfectly. Like perfection isn't the goal, but progress will make you feel better about
Mm-hmm.
what it is that you're doing.
Yep. I love it. I
I
love
love
all
it.
of it. I think I say that at the end of all of the conversations. People are
I
like, I
think I
think
do
it's
too.
over. She said she loves it.
I was just thinking because we both said it like at the same time, and I was like, "Oh, this is a thing that we do."
This is
Okay,
the thing that we
well,
do. I loved this conversation. Thank you for talking to me about it. And if you're listening and you work from home and you have any tips for anybody, please send them to us
yeah,
because we can share
tell
them out.
us, and maybe we need to adopt some other boundaries. Tell us what they are.
Mandy loves to put into place new boundaries. So send all of
It's
your
very
boundaries.
difficult. My stubbornness is a thing, and I'm really working against that. So I will be welcoming some boundaries.
Yes. And please share this episode with somebody who is struggling through working from home or just struggling through corporate or work or any of that. We want to talk to them.
Or even someone who is really wanting to work from home and maybe is over glamorizing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. There's two sides to this story for sure.
Yep,
All right.
for sure.
Thank you for everything. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.